Good evening, good evening, good evening. You are tuned into a victorious life journey to our wealthy season. I am the Apostle C.J. Watson II, the divinely inspired creator of Barbers for Christ Ministries, where we are religiously barbering yet purposely serving. And we're broadcasting live here from the Hernandez Ranch in beautiful Yucca Valley, California. And tonight we would like to welcome you to the good news. For tonight, people, we are embarking on and celebrating the 29th week in ministry, which carries a Hebraic representation of departure, which in fact is what we're going to be talking tonight about. For we're going to depart from the life and the death of Ishmael to the birth and the coming of Muhammad, as we bring you the last piece of the three-part series entitled Allah's All-Stars, Ishmael's 12 sons. But before we get to that, we want to always give some thanks. And tonight we want to begin by thanking Shema Israel, the creator and lover of our souls, for giving us his son Jesus and saving our lives. And then we want to thank Yahshua, our son, our friend, our dear friend Jesus, for giving us the Holy Spirit so that he can teach us how to thank the other two. We also want to thank tonight a friend of mine, in the gospel, in the preaching of the word. His name is Marcus Gray, aka Flame, and he is a rapper. Under the Cross Movement 116 clique, and he's bringing us the praise and worship tonight through the album entitled Rewind, and we are listening to a song called Got to Know. Absolutely incredible album. If you get a chance, Google it, iTunes it. If you're into CDs, go ahead out and pick it up from someplace. I'm quite sure that you can pick it up at a multiplicity of retail stores. It is an absolutely incredible album, and we want to thank Brother Marcus Gray tonight for that. I am absolutely excited to bring this last increment of the three-part message that we have been talking about this month in regards to, or in representation of, March Madness, the coming of Muhammad. Tonight, all week long, God has inspired me to pull out some very in-depth information from this book here. It is called Beliefs. It is a book that has been written by John Boker, and it is the history and ideas of the great religions. And inside of this book, I have found some incredible information about the greatest prophet to walk amongst the Muslims, and his name is Muhammad. And tonight, we're going to bring out this inspiring information and a divine connection between this book and this book, which we have been talking to you all month long about. Absolutely incredible books. I have been blessed by this series myself. But before we get into that, we want to cover some current events. We want to first talk about the loss. My team, Michigan, which is my sister Elizabeth Watkins. What up, Biscuit? Alma Mater, the place where she graduated from. She is a U of M alumnus. And the University of Michigan basketball team played Oregon, and they missed it by 1 point. But it just goes to show my high school, actually no, my elementary school and junior high school coach, Gary Green, taught us that if you live by the three, you will die by the three. Now, I know that thought process runs all throughout the game of basketball, but I was introduced to it by my friend, my cousin, and a very, very inspirational young man in my life, and his name is Gary Green, Pastor Gary Green. What's up, man? I miss you very much, my friend. I love you. If you, in fact, are in tune to the good news tonight, or as you will see it as we streamline it on Facebook Wednesday, I do honor you and I praise you, Gary. Brother Green, I will always call you because my respect level, you imparted so much into my life, and I appreciate you for that. It is in fact the beatings that you gave me that kept me out of the hands of the police. And the ironic thing is, I was just talking to one of my customers today about the old adage that my parents introduced to me that says, you gonna get beat in this life. You gonna get beat by me or by the police. Now, if I beat you, I'm going to beat you out of straight love. But if the police beat you, it's going to be out of hate. Now, which one do you want? Now, the ironic thing about the beatings that I received from Gary is that he was a police officer. Though he was not my mama or my daddy, he was connected to me because he is my cousin. And so I did receive beatings from a police officer, but they were not hateful beatings. They were full of love and respect. And tonight I honor Gary Green for that. As Michigan has lost to Oregon and missed their step into the Elite Eight. Absolutely incredible loss, but they played a great game. And I love Oregon's uniforms. They're fantastic. Though they are not attested to the Kingdom colors, they're this color here, this yellow, and I absolutely enjoyed that color. The other thing we want to talk about is the adventures of Joseph the Dreamer, the divinely inspired creator of Lottie Productions, where they produce inspiration from the kingdom. If you have been watching our Facebook page this week, you saw that the young Joseph the Dreamer hiked halfway up San Jacinto Mountain, which, if you remember, we talked about this last week and the week prior to that. San Jacinto is the second highest peak here in Southern California, and it encompasses 11,000 feet above sea level. Absolutely. And that young man, Joseph the Dreamer, scaled halfway up. Now, he expressed to me the importance of understanding, people, that he is going to go back into the mountain and he will scale it to the top. And he learned that you can get to the top of the mountain through Devil's Slide Trail, which is the trail that he took, and cross over into Palm Springs from Idlewild via Devil's Slide Trail. And so he had an absolutely incredible time. He expressed to me the spirit that he felt amongst God's creation. Absolutely beautiful, he told me, and I feel so connected to him, for he is the spiritual representation of CJY2 Industries Incorporated. And we love you, Joseph the Dreamer. You're a great, great man, and we appreciate you for your attempts to scale San Jacinto Mountain. Absolutely incredible. Tonight, people, before we get off into the mic of the week, we want to express that as we reach the end of the first quarter of 2017, can you believe that 3 months has passed like a breath? Absolutely incredible, almost like the coming of Christ, like a thief in the night. The first 3 months of 2017 have come and gone. Absolutely incredible. Very, very inspirational first quarter of the year here at CJY2 Industries Incorporated. We released the 2 books, volume 1 and 2 of WTF, I Had a One Night Stand. I Had a One Night Stand with a Three-Headed Man, The Coming After the Cult, which the divinely inspired creator of Kingdom Realm Publishings, which is Christopher J. He is the sole representation here at CJY2 Industries Incorporated, and they released that powerful book. And actually, the book, though we had a problem pushing it into a religious genre because of the content that is encompasses the book. We were not able to push it into a religious genre, but we were inspired to push it into the adult world. So the books will be sold at adult bookstores, and there is a store here in Yucca Valley that's local that has picked up the book and is going to be selling the book. Now, this book is going to reach a different type of audience, for it was written out of a sense of love. It is a story that encompasses, or it talks about the relationship that was cultivated between Christopher J. Wathen II and the lover of his soul, Shema Israel. And it has Christopher J. has really captured the essence of the one-night affair that took place between these two young men, Ishmael and Christopher J. Watson II. Absolutely incredible story, people. I'm not quite sure when the distribution is going to begin, but we are in serious deliberations to get this book distributed. So please pray for us that God takes the book and uses it for whatever He wants to use it. Now, these books that have been written through Kingdom Realm Publishing, which is the non-profit side of our CJY2 Industries Incorporated, these books that have been written have not been written for profit, for they were not written out of a sense of income building. The first book, Cloaked in Occult, The Church of Divination, was actually written out of a sense of this journey, people, this journey to my wealthy season. Oh, it is. I can feel it. I can feel it tonight. That first book in the CJY2 Life Series, Cloaked in Occult, The Church of Divination, was written out of a sense of loss. For that is when we here at CJY2 Industries Incorporated lost one of the major blessings that was promised to us, but we lost it. And that book was written out of a sense of loss. And then the second book, which is the book we were previously talking about, WTF, I Had a One Night Stand with a Three-Headed Man That Coming After the Cult, was a book that was written out of anger. Absolute anger. And so if you ever get a chance to read any of those books, both of those books are available on Amazon.com. And like I said, we're working on distributing them through the adult film industry and the adult bookstores throughout this area and hopefully throughout the United States. I'm getting all choked up here, and it may sound like I'm rambling, but you just don't understand. This journey to our wealthy season is an insatiable, absolutely a breathtaking and back-breaking process. It is absolutely, and what we're going to be talking about tonight is the Prophet Muhammad. And in those days, Muslims sent their children into the desert. And there's a clip that is going to be shared after the pericope tonight that is going to explicitly go into what Muhammad went through in his early stages of his life. We're going to talk about some of that tonight. But this journey to our wealthy season, people, has been an absolutely incredible journey. The first third or the first quarter of the journey was spent in suicidal thoughts. For here at CJY2 Industries Incorporated, before even the four streams were created, the anchor, the foundation, which is Christopher J. Watson II, Christopher Joseph Watson II, he went through a season of darkness like you would not even believe. And if you are in fact excited to hear about what he has been through, these books encompass or capture most of the feelings, most of the things that he went through, and it's absolutely incredible, people, I tell you. And I'm hoping and I do believe that one day these books are going to be made into films, and it's going to be distributed through Joseph the Dreamer, or actually Lottie Dottie Joseph the Dreamer Distributions and Lottie Dottie Productions. Absolutely incredible. I'm speechless because I cannot believe in this first quarter we produced those two books. And not only those two books, we have actually produced the fourth book, which will not be out until March 2018, which is Abused for a Purpose, The Diary of a Battered Man. We actually finished the production of that book just weeks ago, or actually days ago, and now we're getting ready to begin production and the actual journey to produce the third book in the series, which is I Am Done Living Defeated Seriously, which is the fight night, the fight that took place between Christopher Joseph Watson II and his husband Ishmael. Absolutely incredible story. And just before I go on, I want to apologize to the Periscopians who are watching the show tonight. I see that there are comments and questions being streamlined up through the broadcast. But unfortunately, people, I do not answer those questions because it's hard to keep focus on what God wants me to do and answer your questions. So please charge my head and not my heart for not answering. If I get a chance to edit this week and go back through, I may be able to acknowledge your questions and give you answers to them in the next segment. But please forgive me on that. So here at CJY2 Industries Incorporated, we are excited to know what God has for us in the second quarter of the year. For last week, we talked about getting into a partnership with another company, which I found out legally I cannot talk about the name of that company during my broadcast, so I will not be shouting out the names. But just know that there are some absolutely incredible things going on here at CJY2 Industries Incorporated. We're going to have to scale down the messages here at Barbers for Christ Ministries because remember, though I am one person doing 4 jobs, it takes an absolutely incredible amount of time to do these broadcasts and prepare for them. And so what we're going to do is we're going to scale back to 1 broadcast per month. 1 broadcast per month. I don't think we're going to be doing any more series this week or this month or this year. In fact, it just is based on what Ishmael has given us permission to do and what he's instructed us to do. Absolutely incredible. I am so excited, people. I am so blessed by the opportunity to do this. I'm full of life. I'm full of vigor. I have been so inspired by Ishmael. I blow him a kiss tonight because I love him for taking me through this journey and preparing me for my wealthy season. Absolutely incredible. And so tonight, that takes us right into the mic of the week. And we have always had some pretty positive, most influential clients, but this week, people, we ran into a young man via Babes and Blaze Barbershop in 29 Palms, California, that absolutely chapped our behinds. And the unfortunate thing about it, ironically, this young man's name is Benjamin. Benjamin. Absolutely incredible. This young man. He came into Babes and Blaze Barbershop on a Sunday, which is the day that the Marines get their haircuts, because they have to be in inspection on Monday morning. So their haircuts have to be fresh every Monday morning. Their haircuts have to be fresh. And so this young man came in with a group of his friends, and he had been sitting for a while for the shop is in transition. We just lost 2 of our major barbers. I'm going to take this moment to say what up, though, and share some love to Krista and Chantel. Ladies, I love you very, very much. I want to show you some love. Keep prospering, keep moving forward. And so we have lost these 2 young ladies, and so the shop is in transition. And so when the young man came in Sunday morning, he ran into a line, for there was a line of Marines waiting, because we have 3 new barbers, and it takes time to get acclimated to the process of doing Marine haircuts, for they're not like civilian haircuts. And so we got 3 strong barbers and 3 weak barbers. And so this young man had to wait a minute. He had to wait a minute. But it came a time where he had waited, and his friend's services had surpassed his. And so he was next. Now, we do have a shampoo receptionist girl who takes care of putting the Marines in our chairs. And so this young man was supposed to be next in chronology, but he was not next on the list, for he had been skipped. And so I called another young man, put him in my chair. I was ready to get him dressed for the service. And this young man, Benjamin, jumped up and said, well, I thought I was next. And so I thought it was just weird that he took so much of his power to overpower a young man that was already sitting down. Actually, it was absolutely ridiculous. It showed no sense of integrity, no sense of customs and courtesies. It went against all Marine Corps values, I know. I know it did. But yet, I still serviced him. So as the service began, this young man, during the client consultation, he proceeded to tell me the importance of not taking hair off of the areas above his ear, though he asked for a medium fade. Very, very picky. And it's okay to be picky because you're paying. You have the right to be picky because you're paying. You have the right to be picky because you are paid. So customers, don't feel bad about sitting in your barber or your stylist chair and being exact about what you want, because what you have to remember, we are beauticians, not magicians, and definitely not psychic. We don't know what you want. You have to find a way to explain it to us, especially if you're new to us and you're not part of our client roster. I'm going to take this moment to apologize to any customer who has received a service based on poor client consultations. You must understand the importance of expressing what it is that you want, and remembering that pictures don't always capture what the stylist wants to do. And so this young man sat in my chair. He was very specific about not taking hair off from the top of his ears. He just wanted a low fade, which encompasses the temple area mostly. Actually, he asked for a medium fade, which encompasses about a finger length above the ear. And so as I began to cut his hair, I did the outline, I blended it up, and then I went to take the clipper to do clipper over the comb so that I could blend the zero area into the mid shaft. And as I did that, he said, excuse me, sir, you're going a little bit too high. I gotta tell people I was running amok. I was dumbfounded by what this young man said to me. I took every strength that I could muster, and I turned that young man around in a chair. I leaned back on my station, and I said this to him. I said, young man, I am a 20-year veteran. I have done over 2 million of these haircuts. I think I know what I'm doing. I do believe I startled young Benjamin, for the next thing he said to me is, well, I told you not to cut up around my ear. I was very specific. Very specific. And then he said this to me. He said, last time you cut my hair, you cut it up to the part, and that's not what I wanted. And I said, oh, really? I said, well, if that is in fact the truth, why is it that you're back in my chair this week? If I messed your hair up, why did you come back to my chair this week? He said, I was tired of waiting. My friends had already gotten their haircuts and they were out the door. I was ready to go. And I said, so you're going to fight another person that was already in the chair? Interrupt his service? To bump him out, to put yourself in, and then you're going to come in my chair and complain? I said, I turned him around, I dusted him off, I uncaped him, undressed him, and I said to him, young man, keep your money in your pocket, but do not come back to this chair. Now, the thing that makes Benjamin the most inspirational client of the week is the fact that there is a 80-20 rule. And remember, I said that I shoot about 80%. 8 out of 10 haircuts, I get exactly how they want them to be. But then there's 2. And Benjamin is part of the 20%. And though I strive to be what God wants me to be, I know that I can never be perfect on this earth. And so I want to share my perfections as well as my imperfections. And this week, Benjamin was imperfected. His service was imperfected. And it showed my humility and my humanity. So Benjamin, I know that you're probably not watching my show because I don't know you and you don't know me. But if in fact there is a connection to you through this show, I am sending out a direct apology to you tonight, Benjamin. Please forgive me if it felt like that I was coming off as a arrogant, pompous jerk. For I was not. I was just merely trying to educate and inform you. If you receive a negative service from a barber, don't go back to the chair and complain. Not during the service. If you have a problem and you need to write an ICE comment, or you have a disgruntled thought about the service you received, you need to take it up with the barber the time he shows you the mirror. Don't wait weeks and weeks and then come back and complain. We appreciate your patronage at Babes and Blaze Barbershop. I do hope that you come back because there's a multiplicity of beautiful women there that can give you exactly what you want. But do not come back to chair number 1, because though I love you and I charge your head and not your heart for your disgruntledness, your lack of integrity, and the way you handle the situation, I do love you, young man, because you are a brother of mine, for we were both created by Shema Israel, and I love you. Please forgive me for messing up your haircut. I didn't do it purposely. Charge my head and not my heart. And I hope that you will, like I said, continue to patronize Babes and Blaze Barbershop here in 29 Palms, California. So people, that takes us right into the pericope. And tonight, as I have said before, we have dropped a clip into the thread for the YouTubers. Actually, no, the Facebookians. And this clip will show some information about the great prophet Muhammad as he ushers in the Holy Quran through the Hadith and the Nation of Islam. Absolutely incredible. So, Facebookians, enjoy the clip as we go into a break. We shall see you in just a moment.